Mr. Baldoni and Ms. Lively were filming a slow dance scene for a montage in which no sound was recorded. Mr. Baldoni chose to let the camera roll and have them perform the scene, but did not act in character as Ryle. Instead, he spoke to Ms. Lively out of character as himself.
Accusations of SH, secret smear campaigns, and multi-million-dollar lawsuits, a firestorm has engulfed Hollywood darling Blake Lively in her feud with co-star Justin Baldoni. What began as a dream collaboration on the film It Ends With Us has morphed into a nightmarish legal battle that threatens to topple Lively's once gleaming reputation. The saga, unfolding both in court filings and headlines, reads like a Hollywood thriller: clandestine plots, betrayed alliances, and the stunning implosion of an A-list star's image. This introduction sets the stage for the dramatic downfall of Blake Lively, a downfall documented in real legal reports and industry chatter, and one very much of her own making. Blake Lively's descent from grace kicked off under the bright lights of a blockbuster set. In December 2024, Lively lodged a formal complaint accusing Justin Baldoni, her director and co-star, of creating a hostile work environment rife with inappropriate behavior. She alleged deeply troubling on-set incidents. Baldoni had ignored intimacy protocols, improvised gratuitous-esque content, even involving an underage character, and overstepped boundaries, at one point biting her lower lip during a scene without consent. According to Lively, these offenses left her in grief, fear, trauma, and extreme anxiety. The actress claimed that when she pushed back, Baldoni and his team retaliated with a calculated smear campaign to destroy her reputation. For a moment, it seemed Lively might emerge as a heroic whistleblower. Her complaint was soon followed by a bombshell New York Times expose titled, "We Can Bury Anyone Inside a Hollywood Smear Machine."
Was what Blake says, a conversation that she heard had taken place with Steve Sarowitz. Steve Sarowitz is the head of Wayfair Studios. He is the co-founder of Wayfair Studios along with Justin. And she says in this lawsuit that, and is it interesting? She says, "This is what I heard," he said, but it's presented as a quote in the lawsuit. She says that Steve said, "I will protect the studio like Israel protected itself from Hamas,"
which detailed how PR operatives allegedly set out to deliberately wreck Lively's image after she spoke up. Internal correspondence, texts, and emails between Baldoni's associates, Hollywood was stunned as these claims went public, and many of Lively's peers and co-stars rallied to her side in solidarity. The stage was set for Lively to be seen as a crusader against misconduct, but the narrative was about to flip. Baldoni vehemently denied Lively's portrayal of events, and soon his side of the story came roaring out. This fueled speculation further, especially after social media users discovered that several cast members, including Blake Lively, had unfollowed Justin Baldoni on Instagram, a move many considered a significant red flag. As the press tour kicked off, tensions appeared to escalate, and Blake's approach to promoting the movie came under heavy criticism online. Many took issue with how Blake handled the promotional efforts, arguing that she focused more on florals, fashion, and her hair care line rather than addressing the serious issues explored in the story. During one event, she even invited fans to grab their florals to see the movie, a move that left critics and fans questioning the tone and sincerity of the promotion. This added another layer of controversy to an already fraught situation.
With Us is in theaters now, so grab your friends, wear your florals.
This particular comment from Blake Lively struck a nerve with many, as it was widely deemed tone-deaf given the film's serious subject matter. Instead, she was encouraged to maintain a lighthearted tone while promoting the film, in stark contrast to the serious themes portrayed. As the press tour progressed, many suspected that it wasn't until Justin Baldoni saw the public reception that he decided to go rogue. His Puerto Rico team allegedly pushed for a more authentic approach, which resulted in Justin being portrayed as the only serious member of the cast. This shift led fans to believe that there was an elaborate effort to smear Blake's name in the media, with one fan commenting that they felt manipulated into blaming Blake, while the real responsibility likely lay with the entire team of studio executives and producers. The fan expressed disdain for Justin's actions, stating, "Justin is a gross man for going rogue at the expense of Blake's reputation." They also noted that Blake's behavior during the promotional campaign now made more sense, adding, "I feel terrible she went through that, it's horrible."
This alleged smear campaign caused what Blake described as substantial harm to both her personal and professional life. Her team claimed that Justin's camp actively worked to slander her credibility, all while raising his own profile, which made it even more difficult for Blake to navigate the media landscape during the film's release. Since the lawsuit was filed, Justin Baldoni's legal team has denied the allegations, with his lawyer, Brian Fredman, calling the accusations shameful and entirely fabricated. This denial comes amid the ongoing legal battle, which has intensified public scrutiny surrounding the behind-the-scenes tensions on the set of It Ends With Us. Despite the legal rebuttal, the controversy has continued to capture the attention of fans and media alike, further complicating the dynamics between the cast, crew, and their respective public images.
Lively wrote, "New pages can always be sent to me as well, please," and signed the message with an X, the universal symbol for a kiss. Through his attorneys, the director branded Lively's allegations as false, outrageous, and intentionally salacious, designed purely to publicly hurt him. In late December, he hit back hard, not just in the press, but in court. Justin Baldoni filed a $250 million libel lawsuit against the New York Times on December 31, claiming the paper had colluded with Lively to defame him. The lawsuit accused the Times of cherry-picking and splicing his private communications out of context, and of lifting Lively's self-serving narrative nearly verbatim while ignoring evidence of her true motives. It even suggested the article's timing was no coincidence, that Lively's team had quietly worked with the journalist for weeks to drop the story right after her complaint, maximizing its damage. In Baldoni's telling, Blake Lively was not a victim at all, but the architect of a vicious PR hit job. As 2025 dawned, Baldoni escalated the conflict further, turning the spotlight onto Lively's own conduct during their film's production.
And I think that the Justin and Blake stuff is, I think it's a big PR game, and I think that we're all the pawns of it. And also that story I gave you, that's one where I've talked to them. I feel comfortable sharing that much. Like, good luck. There's so.
Baldoni directly sued Blake Lively, her husband Ryan Reynolds, and Lively's publicist for civil extortion, defamation, and interference with his livelihood. The allegations within were stunning. Baldoni claimed that Lively had weaponized false threats of a SH scandal to seize creative control of It Ends With Us, effectively bending the studio to her will. According to his suit, Lively hadn't even read the film's source novel, yet insisted on wrong-headed creative decisions and pushed Baldoni aside as director. When he resisted, Lively allegedly gave an ultimatum: do it her way or she'd walk off the project, while accusing him publicly. Baldoni says he watched as Lively's influence led to him being shut out of his own film. His editors were fired at her behest, and he was even banned from the movie's premiere screening. In Baldoni's view, this wasn't just artistic difference, it was a. She followed up with another text shortly thereafter: "I'm just pumping in my trailer if you want to work out our lines." Baldoni responded, "Copy, eating with the crew, and we'll head that way."
But they were able to present text from Blake Lively herself. I guess they had gotten a new version of the script they hadn't practiced or whatever at this point, and she said, "I'm just pumping in my trailer if you want to work out our lines." And he said, "Copy, eating with the crew, and then heading that way." So at least they can prove in this singular instance she did invite him in.
18 months later, that interaction was depicted in a New York Times bombshell report in a far more sinister light. The Times wrote that Baldoni repeatedly entered her makeup trailer uninvited while she was undressed, including when she was breastfeeding.
And I think the truth lies in the middle, because Justin is putting out some interesting counter-arguments in this new suit that he's actually suing the New York Times. Now, is he going to win? I don't think so. I think it's an incredibly hard battle to win. But now, with what we've seen Trump do with George Stephanopoulos, who knows anymore where these things are going to.
That discrepancy is one of many highlighted in the scathing $250 million lawsuit filed Tuesday afternoon by Baldoni against the New York Times in Los Angeles Superior Court. Baldoni is among a group of 10 plaintiffs, which also includes publicists Melissa Nathan and Jennifer A.L., who are suing the newspaper for libel and false light invasion of privacy over the article titled, "We Can Bury Anyone Inside a Hollywood Smear Machine." Lively's federal lawsuit, on the other hand, dives deeper into the allegations of harassment. She claims Baldoni's behavior began subtly but escalated over time, leaving her feeling unsafe on set. According to her lawsuit, the retaliation campaign not only damaged her reputation but also caused her severe emotional distress. The 87-page complaint, which also accuses the New York Times of promissory fraud and breach of implied contract, offers a rebuttal to the narrative set forth in the 4,000-word article that has rocked Hollywood and led to WME dropping Baldoni as a client just hours after publication.
Justin also leveled accusations at Lively's husband, Ryan Reynolds, for being aggressive while defending the Gossip Girl actress. According to the lawsuit obtained by E! News, it reads, quote, Lively's husband, Ryan Reynolds, had aggressively berated Baldoni during a meeting at their penthouse in New York, accusing him of fat-shaming Lively and that the couple's, quote, inappropriate and humiliating berating of him was delivered as other celebrity friends were coming in and out of their penthouse.
And how the worst thing Justin Baldoni's team can come up with is that she was rude and difficult and threatened not to show up at work. You know, if you read the complaint, I think she had very valid reasons why she wouldn't want to show up to work in an environment like
Blake Lively has just dropped a major plot twist in the ongoing drama surrounding her recent activities, as she is officially suing Justin Baldoni for inappropriate behavior and defamation. The book, which sold millions of copies worldwide, delves into themes of domestic abuse and resilience, a powerful story that Hollywood hoped would spark conversation and inspire change.
Lively's lawsuit claims that the abusive dynamic on screen was mirrored off screen, with Baldoni allegedly engaging in repeated acts of harassment, ranging from unwanted physical contact to inappropriate comments, and creating a pervasive atmosphere of fear and anxiety throughout the production.
Filming began, and all seemed well, at least from the outside. Behind the scenes, however, tensions were reportedly brewing, labeling her as difficult and unstable.
Justin is suing the New York Times for $250 million. Holy hell, this is insane. I mean, he's going to have a hard time proving it, right? I mean, we're going to have to see. No one just sues the New York Times, or do they? I don't.
But Baldoni's lawsuit paints a different picture. In it, he claims that the New York Times selectively quoted texts and emails, stripping them of critical context to make him look like a villain. He argues that the article has caused irreparable harm to his career and personal life, and he's seeking $250 million in damages. On June 2, 2023, Blake Lively began a text exchange with her It Ends With Us director and co-star, Justin Baldoni, who blamed her assistant for not getting her an updated batch of script pages. She didn't realize they were new. This lawsuit comes after the public turned against her during the press tour for It Ends With Us ever since the film adaptation of Colleen Hoover's best-selling novel was announced in 2019. Anticipation has been sky-high. With over 20 million copies sold worldwide and the novel becoming a TikTok sensation, fans had immense expectations. However, the announcement of Blake Lively, famous for her role as Serena van der Woodsen in Gossip Girl, being cast as Lily Bloom left many fans skeptical. Their concerns grew after set photos revealed unexpected costume designs for her character. The tension escalated even before filming began, as reports surfaced about conflicts between Blake and Justin Baldoni, who not only directed the film but also starred as Ryle Kincaid. While the exact reasons for their clashes remain unclear, whispers of creative disagreements and a strained dynamic behind the scenes began circulating early on, adding fuel to the already heated controversy surrounding the project. The speculation surrounding Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni only grew stronger when fans noticed that Justin appeared to keep his distance from the rest of the cast during production. Now, with the recent news of Blake's lawsuit, fans are revisiting everything that transpired before and during the press tour with a fresh perspective. Justin has been accused of inappropriate behavior on set and slandering Blake's character throughout the filming process. During production, signs of tension were evident, as Blake and Justin were rarely seen together, even at promotional events, further fueling rumors that all was not well behind the scenes. But when she did, the article claimed Baldoni and his team retaliated with a calculated smear campaign aimed at discrediting her.
Baldoni's lawyer, Brian Friedman, made it clear in a statement.
Friedman also claimed that Blake made numerous demands during the film's production, including threats to derail the project unless her conditions were met. Justin's team argued that the hiring of a crisis manager wasn't intended to smear Blake, but rather to protect the film from what they described as her alleged disruptions. However, the tide of public opinion seems to have sharply shifted in Blake's favor. Several prominent figures, including her Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants co-stars America Ferrera, Amber Tamlin, and Alexis Boleto, released a joint statement in support of Blake. They expressed their disappointment, stating, "Throughout the filming of It Ends With Us, we saw her summon the courage to ask for a safe workplace for herself and colleagues. We are appalled to read the evidence of a premeditated and vindictive effort that ensued to discredit her voice." Colleen Hoover, the author of It Ends With Us, also expressed her support for Blake, describing her as honest, kind, supportive, and patient. Colleen's backing added significant weight to Blake's claims, as she had been deeply involved in the project from its inception. It seems like a strategic effort from Justin's PR team to shift the narrative in his favor, but it unintentionally cast Blake in a negative light, and much of that negativity was amplified by social media and the media's focus on it. You're right that the internet's divided opinions show just how nuanced and polarizing these types of situations can be. People may interpret Justin's actions differently. Some might see them as strategic or genuine, while others might view them as manipulative. It's clear, though, that media outlets didn't give Justin the same scrutiny they gave Blake, which raises questions about the influence of PR strategies and media agendas. It'll be interesting to see how this situation develops as more details come to light. What do you think, though? Do you believe Blake's portrayal was more unfair than Justin's in the public eye? Was proving effective in influencing public opinion?
Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni appeared to take a contrasting approach during the press tour. He focused on the deeper themes of the movie and engaged in discussions about the real and significant topics portrayed in the story. This stark difference in their promotional strategies only added to the ongoing controversy surrounding the film and its production.
But about the why behind it. If a Lily Bloom in real life can sit in this theater and maybe make a different choice for herself than was made for her, maybe she sees herself on that screen and chooses something different for herself, that's why I made it.
However, fans quickly noticed Justin Baldoni's silence regarding the controversies surrounding his co-star, Blake Lively. As Blake faced an overwhelming wave of online hate, Justin refrained from addressing the backlash against her. Instead, reports surfaced that he had hired Melissa Nathan, a high-profile crisis manager known for representing Johnny Depp during his legal battles. This move raised eyebrows, with many questioning why the director of a seemingly straightforward romantic drama needed such a heavy PR strategy.
Even members of the film's production team and cast have come forward to side with Blake after she took a brave stand. Brandon Skinner, who had already defended her during the film's press tour, has since reinforced his support for her, calling her a respected professional. Fans are now speculating that Blake might have kept silent regarding all that has happened until now, as her legal team was gathering the necessary evidence to expose Justin, something that seems to have worked incredibly well. This complex situation seems to reflect both a clash of personal interests and the challenge of balancing corporate pressure with a genuine desire to promote the film in a meaningful way. This situation definitely reveals a lot of complexity with multiple perspectives at play. The dynamics between Blake, Justin, and the media, especially the way Blake's public image was targeted, add layers of intrigue.
While some individuals stepped forward to defend Blake amid the ongoing smear campaign, Justin's continued silence spoke volumes. His unwillingness to publicly support Blake added fuel to the fire. In fact, one of his comments seemed to exacerbate the situation. He referred to Blake as a creative force who had taken control behind the scenes, a remark that many interpreted as a subtle criticism of the influence she and her husband, Ryan Reynolds, reportedly wielded on set. Justin's decision to remain silent, coupled with his hiring of a crisis PR team, led fans to speculate that he was intentionally distancing himself from Blake amidst the controversy.